Hey guys, I'm going to show you a complete setup of an astrophotography rig. Today we're going to be filming the Rosette Nebula, taking images in 03, so narrowband, using a regular D5300 DSLR. So step one is let's get the mount ready. The mount, the legs need to be level, and this pin needs to be pointing straight to Polaris. Now, this is not my first time doing this in the front of my house, so I'm pretty sure that if Polaris, once dark hits, is right above that chimney line. Okay, step two is we need to level it. Leveling is very important. I did an imaging session a couple days ago, so I haven't touched the knobs, but you know what? I mean, this is actually pretty good. It's pretty stable. I don't even want to touch it. Like, look at that. That's pretty good. All these are tight because I've already done this. Let's put the mount head on. We're going to be using the Celestron AVX today. Not that I have other mounts to use. Okay. Alright. So, this is where the weight goes. Never leave the mount like this. You always tighten it. Because if that mount falls off, you're going to get dents in it. Or you might even break it. Might as well do the support for the legs. Okay, now let's put this on now. Okay, we got that. Now I want to make sure that these pins are pretty centered so that I could move the mount both ways, and I have plenty of room to go left and right. So let's move this one out a little bit. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're actually very good. Alright, so now I'm gonna really tighten this pretty good now. All these knobs need to be really tightened. You don't want any movement of the mount. Very stable, right? Yeah, that's good. Let's put our weight. This is my marker. I don't know if you could see it, but that's where I'm gonna move the weight to. I've already balanced the weight for my rig, so I don't have to do this many times. I put it straight to the end of the tape and I'm good to go. I don't even bother balancing it anymore, because remember, your balance in any case isn't supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be ease heavy on these crappy mounts. Well, they're not crappy, but there's at the lowest end of the scale for astro imaging, let's put it that way. So next goes the rings. You gotta put the rings on. Again, the position of where you put this definitely matters, because this is your deck axis, this one right here, and so there's going to be different weight on it. So even like the position of this matters. So this has all been calibrated already, so I know that it has to go all the way to this end. Nice and tight. Let's quickly hook up the controller. Do not put it in here. People had problems with that. You might fry your board or the controller. What else? Or actually, no, I don't think you can put it in here. Anyways, make sure you connect it correctly. Now let's put the guide scope on. Actually, you know, let's put something that's first heavy. Let's put our ED80 on. So this ED80 is the Orion ED80 refractor, FPL 53 glass, 600 millimeter, focal length 7.5. We're going to put a reducer on it, and so we're going to be imaging at 6.3 today. So we've put on our telescope. Our main imaging scope is up. We have a GSO focuser on this because the stock one is crap, if you ask me. I used it, but this is much better. You got the 10:1. Yeah, much better. Okay, so now let's go get the guide scope. Guide scope, guide scope, guide scope. For our guide scope, we are using the ST80 400 millimeter f5. I mean, this is a little overkill, but I mean, this is really accurate. I mean, at 400 millimeters when you guide, whew, that's plus. When I started off with this, this was I guess the suggestion I got. I mean, right now for the weight, I would probably go with just a regular 50 millimeter guide scope, but it doesn't hurt. Next, we will do the 0.85 reducer for ED80, and we will connect it straight to the DSLR. Notice I'm not putting any filters on it right now because I gotta find the object, and it's really hard finding an object with the H-alpha filter on. So I'll place it after all that is done. This is just so that, you know, we're balanced and ready to go. Okay, so that's done. Last step is putting the camera on the guider. We have two cameras. We have the QHY5L2M and the QHY224C. Which one do you think is better for guiding? You would think this one because it's mono. Well, no, this one. This one's so much more sensitive, especially in this type of scenario where there's so much light pollution and light. This one gives me 5 stars. This one gives me like, I don't know, 3 times as much. So you definitely need an extender when you're working with these cameras and the ST80. So that's done. We will start doing the cables now. Cable mania. This is the worst part of astrophotography, managing all these cables. So we got the USB 3 cable going to the guide camera, right? And we also have, what is this? Oh, this is an incomplete thing. So that's gonna go here. This is my little USB hub. This USB hub connects to a regular USB cable, which runs to my computer. Notice how the laptop is on a warming pad. On especially cold days, this is going to keep your battery up and running. You might as well encase it in this too. I don't put the computer in here unless it's really cold. This is going to maintain the heat for the computer also. So, homemade dew controller. Let's put that at the bottom here. By the way, guys, if you're interested in dew controllers, I made a big batch and I am selling them. Leave a comment if you're interested in one. It looks a little better than that crap. That was my first version. This is going to feed my semi-dead battery so that it's always charging. So you need power, obviously. So that's that. That's this. Dew strips, also homemade. There we go. We got our dew strips. Dew strips are really important. I found out that after I spent driving 300 kilometers to a place and my system just dewed up. That was when I first began doing astro imaging. Not anymore. This is a crucial step, because when does dew happen? It happens most often when it's a clear sky. Alright, it's basically just a nichrome wire running through some Gorilla Tape, and it works amazing. Only thing I need to know now, this one is for this cable is for ED80, so I'm gonna shoot it right here. And then this one is for the guide scope. We're gonna shoot it here. Alright, we're almost done, guys. Now we just need to connect the camera. Connect the camera. Okay. This is that wire that was hanging out. So we're connecting the camera now. Perfect. Camera connected. We're almost done. We need power to the mount. So this big wire, they always make them super long, and you should probably tie it, but I don't do that. What else? The guide wire for that 224C camera. I'm gonna take everything so I don't have to come back. And some power to the dew controller. Oh, and this is my Bakhtinov mask. There we go. Guys, don't forget about flat frames. If you're not doing flat frames, might as well scrap your images. I mean, it's really important to do them. Okay. This goes to the power. This goes to the mount. And we are done. We've done this so early that the sky isn't dark yet. Let's connect our dew controller. Very so the plus is the red, the minus is the black. Alright, we got power, as you can see. I'm gonna turn it low for now and get it a little warmed up for now. Okay, and that's that. Obviously, you need power to the computer. You need a security camera for a street like this, because this is close to the road. Someone might think this is garbage. I don't even know. I'm not planning on staying here. I'm going to be remotely connecting to the computer, sitting at home, sipping some coffee, and just watching this. Almost forgot. I forgot to connect this cable to the auto guider, so don't forget that. Okay, the sky's pretty dark now. It's I could now see Polaris. You won't be able to see it on camera, but it's, if you stand here, it's a little bit to the left of that peak and to the right of the chimney. So we're going to turn this 90 degrees in order to open up the hole. And we will now, using our eye, get Polaris right in the center. And I'm going to do that. And that's pretty good. I mean, it's centered. Now, in your case, you might have to move these knobs. The altitude or the azimuth you might move. But anyways, I'm all set. So what do we do now? We don't have to turn on any mounts. We don't have to do anything. We just have to align with Polaris more accurately now. So we're gonna tie the deck as tight as we can, or we're gonna leave our A open for movement. We're gonna center that so it's perfectly even. We're gonna go to sharp cap. Camera's connected. Let's go to polar align. Now this is going to be a big problem because well, first of all, remember when you're in here you got to obviously set the proper exposure. Too much. So my problem with finding these stupid guide stars is, look where I'm at. Like, look at this place. This is insane. Look how much light I got on my telescope. So this is the hardest part for me when I'm imaging objects on this side of the house. When I'm in my backyard, I don't have issues. So we've solved in this position. Now we're gonna rotate 90 degrees. And we're gonna solve in this position. We have 33 minutes our line error. So we're gonna start moving this now. These two knobs and these two knobs until we get as close to polar alignment as possible. 24, 18, 6. All right, so I did it to 15 arc seconds, maybe 11. I'm not even gonna bother doing it anymore because, I mean, when you're guiding, who cares? Like, this is not a very good mount to begin with in order for you to tinker so much, especially with my resolution at 1.59 arc seconds. I mean, I'm well below. I guide well below it, so I'm good. All right. Now, let's close that. At this point, now that we're aligned, you got to be very careful with the mount because you don't want to touch it. Any slight shift will affect your image or your polar alignment. Okay, so now we've tightened the knobs, right? We're all ready to go. I'm gonna get my phone out. Now what we need to do is turn on the mount. And let's do some setup. So typically, I mean, if you travel a lot, especially like you go to remote places, you got to get your coordinates. I mean, for me, I've been in the same place the last few times, so there isn't anything I need to do here. I don't need to specify the coordinates, I don't need to do the time, so we're good. Oh, the only thing is, it's now the time has changed, so it's not 17 anymore. So we got to change the time. I forgot how to do this. Back to end to edit. Custom site. That's okay. Eastern time is now 20. 14:00. Whatever. Standard time. It's the 12th. And it's, oops, see, it's not standard time, it's daylight savings time. So we're gonna do the Rosette Nebula in 03. Where is it right now? Oh, it's coming up at the highest point, right? So it's caliber 49, So let's go to our Caldwell object. Our cables are okay. Let's go. So now what we need to do is we need to frame it. We're not going to focus on the object because that's when I'm going to put the O3 filter on, and only then focus. Alright, somewhere over there is the rosette. Now that I'm close to imaging, I would like to increase the heat on the dew controller, just in case there's a lot of dew today, or frost for that matter. Don't keep the batteries in there while you're setting up. Always hold them in your pocket, because that's going to keep it nice and warm, and you're just going to have that extra time to shoot. Now I have 3 batteries, so I'm going to be swapping them. You can do a direct power to this if you want. I know that my focus is usually at 3.75. So let's see what we get. Let's go into Backyard Nikon. Connect to our camera. We don't need night mode. I mean, it's as bright as day here. Let's do frame and focus and see how does everything look. Look at that. We're almost focused. In fact, this is a rosette right here. So we're pretty good, actually. I'm gonna get this number down. Imaging. Let's do a quick shot. 5 seconds. ISO nice and high so we can see something. These are going to be our test shots. Let's go. What I'm looking for is basically that specific star pattern for a rosette. We're not going to get any nebulosity, but from shooting it before, you kind of compare. So what I'm going to do is I'll take an HA Rosette Light 720. Let me take an H alpha shot I did and compare. So see, let's move this here. Histogram. Notice these stars, one here, and this is here. So that is that right here. Where's my mouse? So I need to move this. Where do I need to move this? It was here. So for one, my camera isn't in the same place it used to be. I think this is more like it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're good. I mean, we've just verified that the mount can locate the object, so that when I switch to my O3 filter, I won't be lost, because once you put this on, you'll see practically no stars. Like, you won't see stars here, by the way, unless you, like, not in frame focus mode. You're gonna have to take pictures to see stars, which is really annoying. So we're gonna be using the O3. I have enough HA signal, but my O3 signal came out pretty weak. Well, it's supposed to be weaker, but it came out more noisy, I guess. My fingers are cold. Okay. Let's put this back. I think this is good. Okay, everything's tightened. Let's see where we at now. Oh, actually it doesn't matter, because what we first need to do is focus on a bright star. So let's see what we got. I think the brightest star is that one, which is Sirius. There it is right there. Look how dim it is through the filter. So that's what we're going to be using now to focus. So what do we focus with? Best method of focusing is with a Bakhtinov mask. Okay, this is for the Rokinin 135, specially made. I don't have any other ones. So what I do is I just hold it out like that while I shoot. So let's get set up. You don't want a long shot, because the longer you hold it, the the less accurate it's gonna get the pattern. ISO can go really high up, but it's okay. Let's do 6400. 1 second. I'm gonna remember the way I'm holding it so that the pattern's always the same. Right, and you just click, boom, done. There's the pattern, right? Let's zoom in. What do you guys think? Good? Absolutely not. So first of all, it's too bright. I want it dimmer. Second of all, this has got to go this way a bit, right? So let's move that. I don't know which way, so I'm gonna do some. Okay, let's take another shot and see what happens. Okay, that's better, but now I gotta move it a little this way. So just a little bit. Oh, that's perfect, man. Let me tighten the lock on the knob. See if it has moved the focus. It won't be better than it currently is. Yeah. Let's leave it. That's it. So we focused. Now we go back to Caldwell 49. Now, the only last step is to frame it, get our guider going, and we're good to go. Okay. For this though, you can't shoot in sub-second lengths. Let's do 5 seconds at 12,000 ISO. Let's see what we get. Are we on rosette? We're shooting in the blind here now. Yeah, look how high it is. Those are the stars in the center. So now I'm gonna guess, because if I go to frame, I won't be able to see any stars. So I'm gonna guess and move it this way, and then I'm gonna reshoot and see where it ends up. I'm looking for these stars to go here. And they've moved to the right, so now I know that, you know, this button takes it to the right. So let me align this now and we'll be back. Okay guys, so I aligned it. This is the the 03 from a few days ago, and then look, this is the final shot. pretty even, right? Don't worry that they're blurred out, that doesn't matter. Right now, the gears have caught up and it should be fine. So typically you need to calibrate your PhD. I mean, this is a whole science. Like every app is, there's so much to do in here. This is a quick rundown. I'm not even touching pretty much anything that you need to set up here, but I'm not going to calibrate just because I don't have the time. The object's so high up already and I only got like 3 hours to shoot it before it goes too low. So the only thing I'm going to do is just double check that my star is pretty focused. Let's do auto select star. It's going to select the star for us, and let's start guiding. So now that we're guiding, let it settle in. I'm going to set up my routine. So this is Rosette 03 day 2. I will dither. I'm going to make sure I have a connection to PhD. That's good. I don't need RAW and JPEG, I just need RAW. So now I shot at 720 seconds, 12 minutes at ISO 200 for nice good dynamic range. Let's say I could probably fit in 12 subs. My battery will die before then, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So that's it. This is all set. Now we're guiding, finally. So right now our array is at 1.2, deck is 0.24. Array is gonna go down. Now it's down to 1. This is up to 0.3. Our total is at 1 arc second. My resolution is 1.59. So this is remember, some people like to do this. They put it on 16 and then the graph looks like that. So don't think that my graph is bad. I mean, I just like to see the drastic changes. So that's it, we're guiding. Let's quickly start our session. And we're good to go. Now, we'll come back in a minute and double check, well, not in a minute, in 12 minutes to see our first flat frame box. Sorry, let me get it out so I quickly show it to you. Turn it on. Put the telescope in there. That I'm not going to do at the end of the session because I already did this object. And honestly, my camera's in the same place. My dust is in the same place. I've been doing, like, with this rig, a lot of photos, so I know that my flat frames won't differ on the same filter. So I mean, if I feel I need to do a different flat frame in a session, I'll do it, but I won't do it today. I don't have the time, energy, or enthusiasm to do it in this weather. So let's see one more time. Let's go do this how most people do this. Let's put the y-axis at 16 and like, oh, look at that line, it's so beautiful. In fact, it's not beautiful for a good mount. This is like, I mean, total arc second or RMS 0.89. So I'm way below. I'm like literally half of my resolution, which is pretty good. But even that, like, this is not good. You see, because it's not a full proper circle. It's more, my array is double the area that my deck is. So you get this line. So even though it's not going to register too much in the image, it's still better to have an even distribution within the circle. But that's my setup, guys. I mean, I can't do anything about it. Sure, you could sit here and tinker with this every day, but I've been able to get it to this, and that's where I'm at. So here I am at home. I'm connected remotely to my laptop, just watching my gear because it's close to the road. on the camera. And if we go to backyard, here is the image. They're coming in, so everything's good. And then once I combine it with the H alpha, I should be able to get something along the lines of this. It will be a bicolor image. A Veal nebula is also very strong in both O3 and H alpha, so it will look something like that, maybe. So thanks for watching, and I'll try to put more videos on online. Thanks, guys.